Today we're going to talk about turning back the clock for real. All right, and I'm not talking when people say, hey, if you think you're young or you think young thoughts, and that means you're young. You're only as old as you think. Or you're only as old as you feel. If you feel young, that means you're young. Well, no. I mean, if you're a 60-year-old dude and you're listening to Ariana Grande and Justin Bieber and Wiz Khalifa, it doesn't mean that now you're a young person. It means you're a 60-year-old dude that happens to like some 20-year-old music, which is great. That's awesome, but it does not make you physically younger.
I never heard bones creak like that.
Now, I choose to be physically younger rather than just believe. And here's why. So physically, we peak, in the 20s, maybe up to about 30, right? Then after 30, what happens? After 30, things go downhill, right? They go downhill fairly quickly. Every decade after that, we lose about, 3 to 8% of our muscle mass and strength. We start to lose endurance year after year. As the decades go by, we get fatter in our midsection. We just get weaker and weaker and weaker.
I've fallen, and I can't get up.
Until ultimately we're in our mid-70s here in America, and then we die, right? Not super exciting way to go. But the great thing is that you actually have control over that. You have control over that with something called your fitness age. So, what is fitness age? Fitness age is a simple measure that is based upon the body's VO2 max. Now, VO2 max is the maximum amount of oxygen the body can efficiently use during intense exercise. All right, so when you look at people that are high-level CrossFit athletes or high-level triathletes, these people have really developed their VO2 max so that they can push at really intense levels for long periods of time. All right, so the higher your VO2 max, the more cardiovascularly fit you are, the lower your fitness age is. It's really that simple. Cardiorespiratory fitness, turns out, your level of cardiorespiratory fitness is a better predictor of impending death versus risk factors like smoking or high blood pressure or diabetes. So you want to get yourself a death-proof vest?
Death-proof.
Get yourself a high VO2 max. So where did this whole fitness age thing come about? Well, we can thank some really smart Norwegians for that. Basically, they got about 5,000 people together, ages between 20 and 90, and they gave them a whole lot of tests. And the first thing they did was they ran some measurements on them as far as their cholesterol levels, blood pressure, weight, waistline, these sort of things. Next thing they did is they did a full questionnaire. Just asked them a bunch of personal questions. What do you eat? How do you live? How do you do this? How much you exercise? Just a full questionnaire. And then the last thing they did, and this is where the torture part comes in, they put them on a treadmill and made them run to exhaustion. All right? Yeah. So VO2 max testing, not a fun thing. But what did we learn? We learned that VO2 maxes correlate to an augmented lifespan. So the higher your VO2 max, the longer you will live, all things being equal. So it seems very simple to me that if you know that you can lower your age simply by raising your VO2 max, then you know what you got to do. You got to go out there and you got to raise your VO2 max. All right, so how do we do that? How do we even measure our VO2 max? All right, so I'm going to get a little sciencey here. There's something called METs. They are a metabolic equivalent of tasks, okay? And to give you an idea of what that really means, one MET is sleeping, right? Walking can be 4 or 5 METs. Now, running 8 miles an hour or cycling 16 miles an hour, that's going to give you about 12 METs, okay? In order to push your body to where your VO2 max is being enhanced enough to really get that benefit, you need to be doing exercises that put you between 10 and 12 METs on a regular basis. All right, so in America, that kind of becomes a problem because we're just told, hey, listen, just walk for, 30 minutes, 3 days a week, and everything's going to be great. Or maybe just go walk for an hour, or something like that. And most people don't even do that, right? We wear this wearable tech, which is awesome because we are staying more active. But as far as getting our VO2s up, taking 10,000 steps a day is not going to significantly affect our VO2 threshold. What's going to affect our VO2 threshold is going to be intense physical activity. Okay? That is how you affect it. So that's why things like high intense HIIT, high intensity interval training. That's going to make a really big difference with it. These kind of activities are what you're going to want to do to really raise that VO2 max. Me personally, I'm not a big CrossFitter because, man, those guys are just freaking nuts, and I'm not willing to put my body through all that. You see them get off, they're wrapping their hands up, they're bloody, all that kind of stuff. But what they do that is amazing is they're constantly pushing their VO2 max. So if you don't want to go out there and throw around all the stuff those guys throw around, you don't have to, but you can still hop on one of those little wind bikes and go friggin' nuts for 15 minutes off and on doing intervals, and that is something that can impact your VO2 max. So take some lessons from CrossFitters or other sports that require that amount of intense effort for even just short periods of time, and that will affect your VO2 max. So now you've been working on your VO2 max, you know what's going up. So how do you test your VO2 max? How do you even know where you are? Well, the first way to do it, of course, is a lab test way, which looks friggin' painful. All right. Nobody enjoys running on a treadmill till exhaustion with a big mask on their face where they can't friggin' breathe. That's not exciting, but that is the most accurate way to test your VO2. I would not recommend testing your VO2 like that until you've already done a whole bunch of work to enhance your VO2. Otherwise, you're torturing yourself for nothing just to get a baseline. All right, great. So you go in there and you're not in shape at all, and you realize, hey, great, thank you, I'm not in shape. I just tortured myself for that. But once you've been working on it for a while, you feel confident, you've made that thing go up, yeah, no worries, go in and do that. Number two, another thing that you can do, companies like Polar or Garmin, they have wearable tech just like this, and inside of here, believe it or not, there's a test that will tell you what your VO2 max is. Now, is it as accurate as running on the treadmill till you almost die? Of course not. But it is something that will give you an idea, and you will start to see that number improve as your VO2 improves. It's pretty cool. And one other thing you can do is you can visit the World Fitness Level site. Now, I put the link down there in the description. And the cool thing is you basically go to this site, you put in your height, your weight, your waistline, you put in how often you exercise, and this information all gets fed to an algorithm that will spit back out your fitness age. Now, it is only as accurate as the information that you give it, right? So I wouldn't say it's as accurate as the other two things, but the cool thing is it will give you a fitness age and give you an idea of really where you stand. Again, the more honest you are with that thing, the better off the report's going to be. But don't wait. There's no point in waiting to get younger.
I think we're gonna...
You're 21. You're 21.
Because you're not getting younger waiting to get younger. You're getting older. So, get younger today. Start building that VO2 max.
Death proof.
So, do me a favor. If you like this video, please make sure you click the like button down there and make sure you also subscribe to our channel. And let me know if any of you guys out there have crazy high VO2 maxes and you built them up. I'd love to hear what your fitness age is. Definitely put them down there in the comments. And also, I do have one more thing for you. I'm giving away a free copy of my book, Fit Beyond 40. All you have to do is click the link right down there below, and that will take you right to the page. No strings attached. You get a free copy of my best-selling book, Fit Beyond 40. All right, thanks again.